Krishna. It's a little warmer in here, so outside it's a different story. I think it's more than temperature, it's the hearts that are here making it a little warmer. So thank you all for coming. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it's a pleasure and a privilege for me to be here with all of you. As Dr. Ritesh mentioned, we're coming from different parts of Earth planet. I'm coming from a little place called Johannesburg, South Africa. And I generally come to Australia every year from November till January. Our primary mission when we come in November is to join with the Schoolies program. So Schoolies at the Gold Coast. When the kids are leaving high school and they're celebrating, we like to meet people when they are trying to improve themselves. Just like most of us have come here because we are considering an angle where we can improve ourselves, where we can gain something for our lives. And so at Schoolies, we find that although the kids are celebrating, they are also mourning. They're mourning like a loss in a life that they lived for the last however long is high school in Australia, 5 years. Sometimes they have friends from primary school that all of a sudden that has come to an end. And all of a sudden life is looking you square in the eyes. What you gonna do? Where you gonna go? What you gonna study? What you gonna become? And the innocence of youth becomes lost. At least when they contemplate a future, sometimes it's not so clear what will happen. And when one cannot see what the future will be, then anxiety sets in. Of course, we will say all glories to intoxication. What would we do without intoxication in this world? All of these are there to help the living entity cope. Sometimes with being socially awkward, they're unable to formulate nice relationships, and so they need like some heart, something that will give them bravery to step out and interact. So our topic today, we're trying to look at what life is presenting us, the reality of it. Most of the time we try to color in life and try to make it what it is not. And lots of hoping it would be this, but actually it is something else. Life and its purpose, and while living that life, how can we get peace. And we'll discover that peace is not something which is cooked up by any material arrangement. So where I want to start is reading from Bhagavad Gita. Show of hands who has read Bhagavad Gita before. You sort of seen it, yeah? Okay. So Bhagavad Gita, as it is a Sanskrit classic, a dialogue between Sri Krishna, who is the Supreme Person, by his own words in the Gita. He says, I'm the source of all material and spiritual worlds. So genuinely and generally, regular people never make such claims, even when they're fully intoxicated. I'm the source of all material and spiritual worlds. You would doubt the sanity of your friend. Oh, Krishna says, I'm seated in the heart of every living being. I know past, present, and future. I'm holding up all the planets in orbit. So these are claims that only a supreme person can make. So in the second chapter of this Bhagavad Gita, is very important knowledge relating to our identity, which is tied up with what exactly is life. So when we discuss spirituality, there is a need to understand what is spirit. So this is chapter 2, text 17. The Sanskrit is Avinashi tu tadvidi yena savam idam tatam vinasham avyayasya nakaschit katum arhati. I'll ask you to repeat. Avinashi, imperishable, but, tat, that, vidi, know it, yena, by whom, sarvam, all of the body, idam, this, tatam, pervaded, vinasham, destruction, avyayasya, of the imperishable, asya, of it, nakaschit, no one, kartum, to do, arhati, is able. So the translation, and there is a commentary there also by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. Translation: that which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. Purport. This verse more clearly explains the real nature of the soul, which is spread all over the body. Anyone can understand what is spread all over the body. It is consciousness. Everyone is conscious of the pains and pleasures of the body, in part or as a whole. This spreading of consciousness is limited within one's own body. The pains and pleasures of one body are unknown to another. Therefore, each and every body is the embodiment of an individual soul, and the symptom of the soul's presence is perceived as individual consciousness. This soul is described as 1/10,000th part of the upper portion of the hair point in size. The Svetaswata Upanishad confirms Balagra Shata Bhagasya Shatada Kalpitasya Cha Bhagajiva Savikya Sachanantyaya Kalpate, which means when the upper point of a hair is divided into 100 parts. So first, can anyone divide the upper point of the tip of their hair 100 times? Those who make silicon chips, maybe, with their can try to do that. And then again, each of such parts is further divided into 100 parts. Each such part is the measurement of the dimension of the spirit soul. So this is how tiny we are. We don't generally feel so tiny. We tend to feel ourselves very big and important. So the soul, 1/10,000 the tip of the hair. This is explained. There are innumerable particles of spiritual atoms which are measured as 10,000th of the upper portion of the hair. Therefore, the individual particle of spirit soul is a spiritual atom, smaller than the material atoms. And such atoms are innumerable. This very small spiritual spark is the basic principle of the material body. And the influence of such a spiritual spark is spread all over the body, as the influence of the active principle of some medicine spreads throughout the body. This current of the spirit soul is felt all over the body as consciousness, and that is proof of the presence of the soul. Any layman can understand that the material body minus consciousness is a dead body, and this consciousness cannot be revived in the body by any means of material administration. Therefore, consciousness is not due to any amount of material combination, but to the spirit soul. In the Mundaka Upanishad, the measurement of the atomic spirit soul is further explained. The soul is atomic in size and can be perceived by perfect intelligence. This atomic soul is floating in the 5 kinds of air: prana, apana, vyana, samana, and udana. So these 5 kinds of air situated within the heart, and spreads its influence all over the body of the embodied living entities. When the soul is purified from the contamination of the 5 kinds of material air, its spiritual influence is exhibited. The Hatha Yoga system is meant for controlling the 5 kinds of air and encircling the pure soul by different kinds of sitting postures, not for any material profit, but for liberation of the minute soul from the entanglement of the material atmosphere. So we'll pause here in the purport. And consider the points that are given. First, to note is that our identity is being squarely revealed. The question is often there, who am I? When we are asked this, who are you? Sometimes people ask, what do you mean? No, who are you? In general, people answer this question, how? If you are asked, who are you? What do you say?
Sailisha. My name is Sailisha.
Name is Sailisha. Yes. This is standard procedure. We give our name. No, my name is Sarah. My name is Ritesh. My name is Gauranga Swami. So if we are challenged, then Sailisha, that is your name. So it means it is yours. Who are you? Oh, I'm a woman. I'm a man. Okay, that is your gender. But then who are you? Just like you have your glasses. We are not our glasses. They are our glasses. We say, this is my head. So that means I possess the head. So who am I who claims this is mine? This is my body. So who am I who says this body is mine? So these questions are not tackled in our modern education, which tends to cost a lot of money. I don't know what are the fees here. I know in South Africa, kindergarten is a lot of money. So some parents try to only give the child 1 year there before they get into primary school, just to avoid all the fees. What are the children doing at kindergarten really? Just playing and sleeping, and of course in China, they have very industrious ways of engaging children. Teach them the things that they will be doing later on. So there's lots of skills children are learning there. So we are not learning about who we are, yet we are learning about what we should do to become happy in this world. So I don't know who I am, but somehow or the other I'm being taught that by doing 1, 2, 3, 4, these things will make me happy. This is called foolishness. Therefore, the civilization is based on an ignorance of identity. So if you're building a house and you're building it on quicksand, the house won't stand. If you're building a civilization and you're building it on an ignorance of self, then you're building a civilization of people who are blind to their own self-interest. So when the purpose of life is being discussed, the ancient scriptures want to begin with understanding who is meant to achieve these purposes. And therefore they begin at this position of understanding this body, the mind, are not the self. The body and the mind are coverings of the soul. Prabhupada writes in that purport about each and every person is aware of their own pains and pleasures. If you have a stomach ache, you can describe it to your beloved. Because of their own experience with tummy aches in the past, they can sympathize. But they can definitely not feel what you are feeling. That means each body has one soul who is present and experiencing all the sensations of that body. That is the individuality. And that individual identity is an eternal identity. We can see identical twins. We were in the city the other day, chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Many people coming, smiling, waving, stopping, watching. One young boy came and joined us. He was really going for dancing. He started to choreograph our dancing. Actually, the people were more interested in us when the little boy was dancing there. So that was very nice. People also are curious to know, what is this? What is this that you're doing? One man said, it sounds very good to me, but I'm not ready to sing with you because I don't know what it means. So he can experience the vibration is pleasing, but then his mind still needs to understand what it is. So there's education to understand who we are. There's education to help us understand the processes of realizing who we are. And this is the bedrock of proper civilization, spiritual education. It is mentioned there in the Gita by Lord Krishna in 266. It says, one who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither steady intelligence nor a steady mind, without which he cannot have any peace. And when there's no peace, there can't be happiness. So, in terms of peace, Prabhupada is writing that the mind is looking for a final goal. Now we're looking at peace and purpose. Many goals are there. As a youth, your purpose is to make it out of primary. As an intern, you want to impress the employer and get the job. So many purposes are there, so many goals are there. But every time we accomplish the goal, then the mind is looking for what's next. Therefore, we're not peaceful. Now I am the CEO, but then what next? People spend lots of money scaling literal mountains or metaphorical mountains, and when they reach the summit of such mountains, they stick the flag, and then the view is not as pleasing as they thought it would be. They're not satisfied. So he writes there that peace comes when there's a final goal of life. So Krishna is saying the final goal is love, a relationship of love. Now this is universal. I'd like to ask, and please, show of hands, anyone here who's opposed to love? I'm against love, especially unconditional love. So nobody is opposed. That means we want it, even though we have experienced that sometimes, most times, what we thought was unconditional love is full of T's and C's. Still the heart beats for love. Now, Krishna is saying your sense of love of God has become transformed into lust. Now, this lust means selfishness. First, I think I'm this body and mind. That is the false identity. Then when I think I'm this body and mind, I identify with everything in relation to this body and mind. I call that me. And from that position, I try to enjoy whatever and possess whatever is connected to my body and mind. Therefore, my Australia, my China, my India, my United States of America, motherland, I'm ready to die for it. Then my wife, my husband, my house, my furniture. Like the kids, they always do that. Mine. So this is the basis of our illusion. When we think I am this body and the mind, and then I think whatever is in relationship to this body and my mind, these things are mine. So these are the illusions that we're going through. Krishna, as the supreme lover, supreme friend, says, until you connect to your true identity, until you awaken the real relationship, eternal relationship that you have with me, you will always become confused by the temporary relationships that you've formed on the basis of this false identity. So out of his love, Krishna is giving us understanding. How do you relate to this world so that you are peaceful? In 529, he discusses what is called the peace formula. That one who understands this Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam. Bhoktaram means understanding the Supreme to be the enjoyer of Yagya and Tapasya, of all sacrifices and austerities. So that means whatever things we are doing in this world which take some energy from us, are difficult to do, they will be called austerities. Whatever sacrifices, we sacrifice our sleep in winter and we wake up to go to work. We've spent 15 years learning ABC, 1, 2, 3. And whatever we are doing, we should understand the beneficiary of that is the Supreme. Now try to sit with that concept. Generally, it doesn't really fit into our plan. What? So I'm not meant to be the enjoyer of all the hard labor that I'm putting in. So what, I'm supposed to just work to please someone else? Are we ready for that type of reality? If we are not, then we are not peaceful because we are dealing with a transitory environment. We cannot control material nature. And so whatever we're working hard for, sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't. So we're not peaceful. He says, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, I am the owner, possessor of all the planets. Now, possessiveness, even the children, they show us possessiveness, like I mentioned, mine. When we get older, we try to mask that. We try to be a little bit broad-minded. Krishna says everything belongs to him. So one who can accept this, nothing is really mine. Like nobody came here with much. Did you come here with your big screen TV? So we come here with nothing and we leave with nothing material really. But the consciousness that we've created survives death. Because we heard consciousness is the symptom of the soul. So we are the soul and our awareness becomes colored by what we become attracted and attached to. Means those impressions, they stay with us. And when we leave this body, we see in the next life people sometimes are born with phobias. Person didn't have any problem with water in this life, but by 5 they're demonstrating great fear of water or heights. So where does this come from? Some children, immediately they are like virtuosos, they're playing like piano, and it's amazing how this kid just, so from previous lives they've carried forward something. So Krishna is saying, recognize everything is mine. Recognize that just like the hand works for the body, for its own nourishment, if the hand goes on strike, I don't want to put the food in the mouth. Because I'm always working and mouth is just sitting there chewing and enjoying. So if the hand goes on strike, then it will suffer because the natural order is that the hand will receive its nourishment as soon as the food is in the belly and it is digested and distributed. So similarly, the Supreme is the whole and we are the part. So when the hand works for the whole body, it is successful. When the individual soul works for the Supreme Soul, then its happiness is also included there. Therefore, the purpose of life in this material world is to revive that relationship. To learn how to submit again to the Beloved. To learn how to cooperate again with that Supreme Lord. To understand that everything that we found here, we will leave here. However, we will carry with us the flavor of our consciousness. And therefore, in the life that we are presented, however long or short it may be, one is being taught the science of reconnecting. Therefore that verse, if you're not connected to the Supreme, then your intelligence cannot be trusted. Because intelligence is discriminating what should be done. If the intelligence is saying, go for the temporary, then it's acting as your enemy. But once intelligence is aligned, it will say, yes, you have to invest in your eternal existence. So such gatherings are to note that we have a future past this body. And if that intelligence is compromised, certainly the mind, which is below the intelligence, will not be steady, because it will be trial and error. Maybe if I become a goth, I'll be happy. Maybe if I start scuba diving, I'll be happy. Maybe if I get a new husband, I'll be happy. Maybe if I move to Mongolia, I'll be happy. Speculating is at the chariot of the mind. So many plans. So by hearing from the initiator of all existence, then we learn how to align with his vision. Then we learn how to see as he sees. Just like the manufacturer of this microphone gives a manual how to have the microphone working perfectly. If you don't look at the user manual, you may not get the best out of the product. So similarly, this human body, we didn't just cook it up by the biological processes of mating. It's pre-designed, and it has a purpose. And that purpose is that there's enough intelligence for the soul to engage, to plan the perfect escape from the temporary world, so that one goes back to a loving relationship. And that is not for only after death. While we are living, we experience that connection. And the more we experience that connection, it inspires us to incorporate this consciousness of the Supreme in all aspects of our lives. Because he is present in everything. There is nowhere where the Supreme Person cannot be found. Only the eyes which are covered cannot see. But the eyes that are smeared with love, they see the Supreme Person everywhere, in everything. Therefore, Krishna has said, one who sees me everywhere, who sees everything in me, I'm never lost to him, he's never lost to me. If you love someone, who here has ever been in love? Without the philosophical side, real love, but you know what we go through here in this world. Yes, raise it high, be proud. Yes. Life without love is useless, they say. So if this infatuation, attachment, lust produces such a feeling in the heart, can you imagine the original experience? And when you do love somebody, whether your child or your friend, or some people try to love their phone. It doesn't reciprocate the phone so much, but yes, wherever you move, whatever you see, you tend to see it in relation to the person you love. You walk past the shop, oh, this is such a nice t-shirt, that'll be nice for my son. Or you go there, oh, the nice little hat, my daughter would love this. Or you go past there, oh, this, oh, my partner would like this. Nobody forces us to see things and relate them to whom we love. This is just how love works. It prioritizes the happiness of the beloved, the other. So if we are to approach divine love, we need the necessary coaching, training, how to put the Supreme at the center of our lives. Because right now, there's me, and that me which is false, this body. So, Bhakti means love and devotion. This is the process of Krishna consciousness, which involves this chanting of Krishna's name. When you hear the name of the one you love, how do you feel? Let's say when it was the first month. Because these days it may be like, oh, here we go again. When you hear the name of the one you love, your heart sings. You remember those days when you didn't want to hang up the phone? It's burning your ear. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Until you fall asleep. First thing you wake up, you want to call. Hey, what happened last night, Yeah, I don't know. I think you fell asleep. That is completely, voluntarily conscious of the beloved. No one is forcing. So, love of God, it is said, is like an ocean of happiness. And if one, not just one, it said, one drop of that ocean of happiness can drown the entire universe and drive everyone mad. The pure devotees are lamenting that there is no tinge of love of God in my heart. And these are lovers of Krishna. They say, if I had any love of God, then I would have died already. Meaning, how am I able to maintain this fly-like life, this body? Every day I'm pampering this temporary bag, and I'm not feeling the pain of being separated from my beloved. So it means it is all powerful. That is what we have forgotten. That love which is all enchanting. That love that pulls the heart. That charms the soul. And so Srila Prabhupada says, we have to make good use of a bad bargain. Okay, this is our situation. Now we are here in Hobart, our life is going on however it is. So, what to do now? Start with the name of the beloved. Therefore, this chanting of Hare Krishna. From the name, one remembers the form of the beloved. When you hear the name of your child, even you're walking in the city, you start to think of your own child. And so, form is there, the activities of the child, the qualities of the child. Same thing. From the name of Krishna, we will become purified and we will begin to be interested. What does he look like? Who does he live with? What does he do? Just like anyone who's courting somebody, then they try to find the friends of that person and also the enemies of that person to find out more. Tell me about this person. Because you want to understand, should I risk my heart in trying to connect with this person? Everyone writes the best resume online, These days people are shopping online for connections. Everyone writes the best things. Sometimes even they have pictures that are not representing their current situation. And people get there and it's like, So there is plenty information about the activities of the Supreme. There's plenty evidence from those who have dealt with Krishna. What is the nature of his heart? And by getting these informations, then we can love based on actual understanding, not based on fear. That maybe God is just this vengeful, all-punishing old man. No, in fact, he's not old. Although he's the oldest, he is appearing as a fresh youth. Nava Yovanamcha is always ever fresh. So I'll bring it to a close by saying, when I started, I'm looking at all of you and I'm thinking what to say to all these people. Because at different stages of their connection to Bhakti. So then I spoke and read about the soul, which is always an important topic, even for those who are part of the Bhakti process, because without realizing our spiritual identity, in truth, we are always falling victim to the misidentification with the body and senses. Because as Prabhupada writes, the body will always demand what it needs. And it is natural to fulfill the needs of the body. But the body will renounce us at some point. Death, divorce, finished. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes. Their very beloved body, you know, everyday body we're taking care. This one, me. That will kick us in the face and leave us. So we have to know, who am I who lives in this body? This is the foundation. And if we thoroughly appreciate and understand we're spiritual beings, then we will search for the spiritual reality. And we will have the determination to apply ourselves in the sciences of understanding that spiritual reality. Just as we apply ourselves in realizing material goals, because, hey, we need to survive. But survival is not permanent. They say, right, survival of the fittest, only the strong survive, but nobody survives. It's 100% death rate. So human being has to be sober and consider these things. Otherwise we all become victims of time. Born in 19 what, died in 20 what. Just another name. What's next? Nobody knows. If I'm to survive death, then I want to know what's next. Even just for traveling, people spend times researching about the place. Which the best hotel, what places to go see, how much it costs, and what's the weather. They plan to go to that vacation. So if we actually understand we're spiritual and we know that this body will be left behind, then we should think, where am I going next? Those who are careless say, I will see a death, I will see a death. The laws of nature, they are vigilant. They say one who leaves this body in the mode of ignorance goes down. Those who are in the mode of goodness, udvam gachati sattvasta, they go higher. If you're in passion, then you repeat the class again in human society. Okay, that sounds better. Does it? If I had to ask you now, If you're given a chance to start this very life again, same parents, same country, everything, who would be ready to start over again? Even this life has been such a trauma that we wouldn't even want to repeat this life. So this thinking, a next life that will be nice, is all part of the product of ignorance, not understanding reality. I wish I was a dolphin. They kill dolphins. I was a butterfly. They squash them. It just sounds very nice. I wish I could fly like a bird. No. You are a child of immortality, all of us. We are children of love. We belong in the spiritual world, completely free, without restrictions, which body is full of knowledge and bliss, transacting with persons who are completely qualified in the arts and sciences of love. This is what we should be greedy for. Bhagavad Gita is training us. Be greedy for that which is permanent. Don't try to get what every Tom, Dick and Harry has. There's nothing unique, really, that we're getting. But the flavor of joy, subjective. Who feels it knows it. That is the asset. There you cannot cheat. If you're not getting what the heart's looking for, even though the externals are nicely closed up. So Bhakti is very nice in that way, that on one level, it is talking to us like a friend. Krishna is sometimes talking to us like a lover, very sweet poetic words, and most of the time is talking to us like a master, guru. Guru means heavy, cutting our ignorance. All of these approaches is Krishna showing us love and affection to inspire us for our highest joy. So thank you very much for coming here. I hope the message of love and the message of being the soul connects no matter where you are in your journey of spirituality. And we wish all of you all the very best, because all of us are actually very beautiful as spiritual beings. We just have these coverings. And we can use whatever we have going on to again highlight the essence of who we are, our spiritual nature. So please raise your hands. And everyone take a deep breath in and out. In and out. One more. And out. And together, at the top of your voice, as if you are all alone at home, please chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So with this mantra, you are already initiated. Anyone can chant this mantra as much as you want. You can overdose, abuse it. There are no fines. It only yields better quality the more one associates, because these names are none different from these persons they are addressing. The divine couple, Radha and Krishna, Hare Krishna. So please chant whenever you can. Download the music of Kirtan, and we will also end our session with some further chanting. At this point, I will invite any comments or questions. If you have any, please feel free to and just bear in mind that there may be some pleasant surprises for whoever asks a question. Just saying. There's a hand over there. Yeah, he's bringing a mic.
Thank you so much for the class, Maharaj. And my question is, you were mentioning about love was the sort of theme I got from the, and it seems to me like the mother, your mother, is your first experience of, well, unconditional love, hopefully for a lot of people. And I think mother is supposed to be also like your first guru. So my question is, if the divine, it seems in the Bhagavad Gita that he's taking that role as a guru or teacher or mentor. So, and I feel like a lot of people also love their teachers. You know, like you go to university with someone you really like, and there's something that seems to be relatable. So yeah, I was just wondering if you could comment on that.
Thank you for that comment, contribution / question. The mother is loved because the mother offers so much service. And the mother learns to love because she serves. So when you serve, then you are rising in consciousness because some selflessness has to be there. And yes, it is said that the mother is the best example of unconditional love there is in this material world. And of course, without trying to take down the position of the mother, we'll just say that she's the best example. But definitely there are conditions there also. Parents, they also have, if it wasn't my child, then they would not serve in that way. If they're not hoping the child will grow up and do X, Y, Z. So yes, loving parents, loving a guru means reciprocal service. So also to love God, to love Krishna, we have to learn how to serve. To serve God means to know what pleases his heart. And Krishna mentions in many places what pleases him. Like he says, if you offer me a fruit, a flower, some water, a leaf, with devotion, I will accept that. So you can offer water or fruit or flower, a leaf. These things are not difficult to get. In these ways, Krishna is telling us his love language. And because he's also teaching us, we appreciate those who enlighten us. Means they take us out of ignorance or darkness. Like I remember in high school, the teacher, my favorite teacher, I often think of him, was a great guy. Primary school, I still remember also which teachers were just nice to us. We also remember those that used to, I come from a place where, giving the cane is very good for the kids. If we didn't get hit, I would not be here. It's a strange concept in today's world. The parents also, they would say, go and pick your stick. would go there trying to see which one would be. Then we understood the science. It shouldn't be too thin, because if it's too thin, then it wraps around. It's not so violent, but it stings enough for you to consider whether to repeat that activity that got you that before. Different ways, but when we get older, we understand why mother was. And then when you're a teenager, they try to trap you. Hey, come here, call you into the room as if there's something there, and then, they get the belt, and once they hit you, if you don't cry, that's how you stop the beating. You just like, ugh. And there's no more flavor. Oh, you don't cry even, you're such a rascal? Get out of here. All the chastisements that the mother gave still stick with us. We can appreciate love, which is practical. Not like the child who, in the name of love, was allowed to do whatever they wanted. They became a big criminal, death sentence. Oh, can I have some last words to my aunt? She was trying to pamper the kid. Oh, he lost his parents, now I'm the only guardian, so just let him roam. And the kid, to say his final words, bites the ear of the aunt. Said, you rascal, I was just a child. You didn't correct me. You didn't put me on the right path. Look at me now, I'm getting killed. And she was shocked. I was so nice to you. But the parent's job is guru. The child is disciple. Disciple means taking discipline. Of course, we are not here advocating for beating up children. Please make a note of that. But we also want to validate certain places where that has worked and still continues to work. But we're not trying to, you guys are Australian. Don't do that. You'll go to jail. Even the kids, they know the phone number now. If you raise your voice, I'll call. So love, service, reciprocation, parent is a teacher, is a guru. And when they give us good instruction, even though they may discipline us, later, once our knowledge rises, we can appreciate that love is not just all soft hugs and kisses. Love also is firm because it sees the benefit of the beloved. So Krishna loves in all ways. Yes. So while he's asking us to come forward, we should take up Krishna's call for love. Sometimes his love is tough, that he'll take away all the things you're trying to hold on to. Then when you can't hold on to those false alliances, false shelters, all you have is him left. Oh my God, why are you doing this to me? Yes, Hare Krishna. Okay. No, we're good. I think it's...
Hare Krishna Maharaji. Actually, like with the family and all, when you are practicing Krishna consciousness and your family is not Krishna conscious, so like when we're talking to them or when we're eating together, so there are so many questions arises. So how do we handle like such things with your own blood relation? Because we have to talk to them like every day in everyday life. And with the little one, like when you are practicing, you want to give the values of Krishna consciousness, but all other in the family table, they are not following that, So how do we just...
Yes. we lead with love and understanding. And so our family members, they will be there for us through it all. They are invested by nature's law of attachment. Like you said, blood. People say blood is thicker than water. So when somebody adopts a different worldview in the family, the immediate response is that we are losing this person because we had a sort of groupthink which linked us together. And so the resistance may be there. However, spiritual knowledge should help us to develop love, compassion, tolerance, equality. And so adjustments can be made. For example, dietary, you're mentioning that at the table, or maybe one has become a vegetarian, or I've become a vegan, someone else is eating meat and all of that, and same family. It can create, some discord. So if there are some practical ways to solve it, you can cook different parts. And it's tough because maybe now if you're trying to avoid, say, eating animals, and beloved is in front of you, going for it. It's not easy. It's not easy, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. It just means that you have to lead with love, with friendship, equality, and compassion. The person has to feel that you still value them as a soul. And then communicate your needs, express your needs, and try to adjust such that it does not disturb your consciousness. If you want a high-level monk's answer, it would be like an overdose. Yes, because if one is already at that consciousness, any situation is not favorable for one's ultimate liberation. One finds a way to distance themselves from it. But because we are in a committed relationships of family, then our duty as family member is to be there through sickness or health, for richer, for poor, till death do us part. So you have to find some intelligent ways to adjust there without compromising your own enthusiasm. And you can consult for a detailed understanding of your personal environment. Then we could try to help you deal with it according to how it flows. But just in general, these are a few words I can say. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, and thank you for your association, Maharaj. My question kind of follows Mataji's question, but more so in the context of, I was wondering what your thoughts, or whether you could share some thoughts about befriending the false ego or the mind, because I suppose we all come to a stage in our spiritual journey where we know these terms, the soul, the mind, Padmatma. But then you're left to sit with the false ego, the mind. It's going to keep coming up, and it's very tricky as well. It does all these loop-de-loops to make us think one thing. So how do we sit with it? How do we live with it? Thank you.
False ego means false identity. That we have to change. I'm identifying as this body and mind, and I have to change that because it is not true. So by introducing more of reality, hearing the truth of our identity, hearing the truth of Krishna, that spiritual sound vibration of those topics purifies the connection of the soul to the false encasement. Mind, we try to make it our friend, because the mind that has become a friend means friends are good at introducing you to their sin, their vices. You know, it was your friend that said, hey, try this. And you're like, oh no, try it, it's very nice. And then maybe you tried it and you become hooked. So we are also introducing the mind to this chanting, to this knowledge, because we cannot pluck the mind out. But as the mind experiences the purificatory power of Krishna's name, then that mind begins to encourage us, hey, you should chant, you should eat food that's offered to Krishna. You should visit others that value spiritual growth. So make the mind your friend and try to file for divorce from the false ego. It takes time for the papers to be signed. There's lawyer fees, it's not easy. But ultimately we have to identify as spirit soul. And so we engage, basically. We just engage the whole system in spiritual activity. The nature of that spiritual activity is to loosen the grip of material energy on us. All right, so I think.
Any milk?
Oh no.
Maybe last one.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for your class, amazing. My quick question is, we understand, want to understand your experience that coming from a different background, how easy or difficult was it for you to become Krishna conscious or follow a different path than you probably were educated in your childhood, or your beliefs, your family's beliefs, different than in your youth that you started to follow, particularly Krishna consciousness. And if it was easy for you, what could somebody do in that situation to make it easy, or what can they do sort of to get into this Krishna consciousness, which is ultimately the only thing that's gonna liberate you, as to say.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Where do I start? I wasn't so into it. You know, I was raised in a Catholic family. And I liked it because the sermon is like an hour, 15 minutes, you know. And yeah, we sang songs, kneeled. But my ear had not opened, so I didn't hear anything revolutionary. And I just saw people doing this and they kind of just did the same things that everyone does. So I didn't see like somebody becoming like a rebel against the machine. So in my youth, I thought all of this seems to be like a machine that's producing same types of people. Same program from birth to death, really. And I didn't want to be part of that. I thought, who made this system? Who made these religions? Who designed the syllabuses to educate us? My good fortune was smoking some marijuana, which I don't recommend to you. But for me, it just slowed down the pace of life, that I could stop and sort of watch everyone else and ask, like, why are they all running around? And why are they doing things that are not making them so joyful? So when there was that questioning, like, who am I, what's this life all about, and what can I do to become joyful? I want to be happy. This I've always known. I want to be happy. And I saw that happiness comes and goes also. Then my next thing is, I want to be free. Then I was hearing music which had that theme. I don't wanna drive no fancy car. I don't wanna be no movie star. All I wanna be is free to live my life, to live my own life. Yeah. So that quest of freedom led me to what people call conspiracy theories. Basically, just unpleasant truths that a certain portion of humanity has created some game of power. And then when I was looking around for some wisdom cultures, those who address this reality, okay, these guys are free from this nonsense. So when I heard from the Krishna conscious monks, they already understood this universe is not just this one planet. There are many planetary systems. Beyond this universe, there are spiritual planets. Really? So yes, aliens is not like some concept in the movies. Shapeshifters are not just some concept in the movies. There's a greater reality than this left brain prison that they're creating on planet Earth. Then this was no longer like a religion, like I'm switching religion. This was like a deprogramming process for me. Oh, my consciousness is caught up because everything that they're teaching us is low vibrational. Or the sex desire is this big chain that is got everyone caught up. We're doing all these things just to be eligible for sex. I work hard so someone's willing to give me sex. I work so hard to look sexy. These were my thinkings of it as a kid, as a youth. And here they were talking about you can live joyfully as a celibate monk. That blew my mind. What? Why? And then when this mantra came, the experience that just 16 words, I didn't know Sanskrit from anywhere. But I could feel every time I was chanting that all the highs from all of the substances I tried, this was clean. And I could tap into it anytime without any charge. I didn't have to pay school fees for 10 years to someone. So, you can just see that. This is revolution. It's not religion. This is how you break out of the prison of your own mind Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. These are some of the songs I was hearing. So that's how I decided that, okay, let me make myself let me enter the lab myself. Let me be the guinea pig and see if it works. Then if it works, then I can try to share with others. So that's really the crux of. So family and everyone and their cultures, for me, I already knew they were already caught up. We are this tribe, we are this nationality, all of this is just to do with this body, which is temporary. I was already like, oh, consciousness. Let's go. So this is revolutionary. It's not religion. So if you think it's Hinduism, you're missing the point. Krishna consciousness means being conscious of the supreme absolute person. This is revolutionary. Thank you. All right, thank you. I've said too many things.